And good Monday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. We start this week off together, don't we? It's the 22nd of May. Wow, it's flying by. I do hope you've got a smile. Welcome to it. We've got a little bit of sunshine today, followed by a chance of thunderstorms late this afternoon. Should roll into the area after 4 p.m. We'll look at all of that. We're a week away from hurricane season. We'll look at what's forming. Yeah, already there's things in the water. Nothing dramatic, nothing that is happening, but well worth checking into. We'll look into that. Odie will be off this week. My daughter Madison will fill in this morning. Debbie can't make it in. Debbie, who was going to fill in, who can't make it. Oh, yeah, we got somebody to cover it this morning. Candace will join us later this week also. She'll be filling in. A big thank you to her. So we've got a lot going on this week as we begin this together. As each and every, just tons of things that happen over the weekend. That's up and coming. We've got that at 7. Right now, let's go to Collinsville. I guess we could call this a little bit of bragging. Be careful what you brag about is what the moral of the story is. I think everybody has been guilty of that. Boasting. Well, let's see what he has to say about all of this as we go out to Collinsville First Baptist.
We often hear that we should not boast, but really, that's just a half-truth. You see, according to the Bible, it's not that you boast that's the issue, but what you boast in. We read in James 1, "Let the lowly brother boast in his exaltation, and the rich in his humiliation, because like a flower of the grass he'll pass away. For the sun rises with its scorching heat and withers the grass. Its flower falls and its beauty perishes. So also will the rich man fade away in the midst of his pursuits." That's a roundabout way of saying everybody, no matter who you are and where you are, you should boast in God and His provision for you. If you are of a lower status here in this life, boast in God and His provision for you, because in the life to come, God will exalt you into His very presence. And for those of you who are of a higher status in this life, don't put your hope in yourself or in the things of this world. Life will humble every person before the end of it comes. Everything in this world, including your life, is here today and gone tomorrow. Instead, boast in God and the riches of the world to come. Well, as the Holy Spirit said through Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians, let him who boasts, boast in the Lord. And when you do that, you have a lot to boast about. So get to boasting in the right things. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville. Pet, truly a topic that could go on and on and on, isn't it? We all know about that. You've been around somebody that's bragged before, boasted a little too much. Make sure that you brag about the right things. Big thank you to Brother Ben being with us last week. We'll use him more. He really was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed him as he was here last week. As we start looking at headlines this morning across the nation, Brother Taterbug, our own governor of Mississippi, has made national headlines as he makes it to the cover of Fox News this morning. Just to show you the picture of this from Fox News, here's the cover there. Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves sounds off on the left-wing ideology. As you read the article, it gets into more and more about the transgender issues, to where there's portions of America that's trying to reshape the way we think and the way things have always been done. I don't always agree with everything that Tate says or does, but he's got his points on this as he vows to protect Mississippi from changing a direction that the overall majority don't want. We've got a problem in America, and y'all all know this, that a small percentage, and I mean a very small percentage, of Americans are changing the course of the way our nation is. The laws are being changed just for that small, and I'm telling you, it's a small one. A few companies are learning they shouldn't do that, aren't they? Well, the rest, I'm not sure. We'll watch and see. New York City makes the next headlines this morning, as that new mayor, Eric Adams, is suggesting that other cities get the influx of, is it immigrants or migrants? What do they call them? Migrants now. A lot of people refer to it as illegals, as they get at least 1,000 people a day flooding the streets of New York. They've opened up the border, more or less, is what we're talking about. You can only take so many. And with this, as y'all well know, that there's people crossing into our country that doesn't need to be here, that doesn't, well, they don't do well for the United States. It used to be that you had to bring a trade, something that you offered the United States, to become a citizen of it. But again, most of these aren't becoming citizens. Hope that worries you as much as it does me. As we look at things that were auctioned off over the weekend, they thought it would bring maybe close to $50,000 to $80,000. And I guess it's because I didn't listen to that genre of music. Kurt Cobain, do you know who I'm talking about? Nirvana, the group. He committed suicide at the age of 27. A guitar that he busted sold at auction for $600,000. I think it was $595. $600,000. Lyrics that they thought that would bring about $5,000 brought $50,000. Whatever it is he had, people want a part of as we look at this. That was huge. Oregon is our next headline this morning. Accidents happen all across the United States, but when it's a tragedy like this, we have to bring it up. An 18-wheeler ran off the edge of the road, lost control, hit a van, smashing the van into another vehicle. 7 people would be killed in that, another 4 injured that were in it. It was those vans that haul a lot of people, the passenger vans. 7 people were killed. As they investigate this, it looks as though the driver was under intoxication of some form of medicine. Could be charged with manslaughter and probably other charges coming up on him. 7 people lost their lives. That's a lot. We see that whether you call them Facebook or Meta, is that how you say that? They're being charged in the EU for sending information about EU residents back to the United States. One of the biggest fines ever, $1.3 billion they have been fined. That's a lot. Let's hope they don't continue to do that. Do y'all remember the Marine that is in Russia who is in jail? Y'all familiar with who I'm talking about? His name is Paul Whelan, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. If you remember the basketball player that was over there who, done drugs, got caught with marijuana or something like that where she shouldn't have. She was swapped for. He was left. They're getting ready for another swap. He's pleading to be swapped. Again, this is a veteran. No guarantees as to what the White House will do. We'll watch that story to let you know also. I bring up this next story just to show you how sometimes the national media doesn't get exactly what they're doing, or like me, I sometimes make mistakes. We all do when you're typing fast and you make a blurb. I even remember the Weather Channel referring to that as, what did they call us, that landmass? Well, I guess it's much worse than that. We've been renamed altogether as we look at this from Daily Mail. That we're talking about librarians, to where they're going to start holding librarians accountable for the books they put in for school children. And as we all know, the books I'm talking about that cross lines that children don't need to see. And as I tried to point out where Mississippi was, they renamed us Alabama. They tried real hard. It was a good story, and it made sense of what they were trying to talk. They just don't know their geographics here in the Deep South, do they? American Idol is over. A Mississippi boy has placed 3rd in that. Done a good job. We hate that he didn't win. As we look at this, he came in 3rd place. A gentleman named Aim Tonga, he was 18, won it. I didn't watch it, so I don't know exactly what type of music he did, but congratulations to all of them. As Odie has talked about this, not exactly this, but in a roundabout way, to when maybe you inherit a place and you're going through people's things, and when you come up on something, you go, what is this? Maybe you shouldn't touch it. He's talked about your granddad's farm and people digging in the barn and finding dynamite. And you should call authorities immediately, as a family found out the hard way what this was all about. This happened in Indiana. A father and his children, he was at his dad's home. He had his children with him as they were going through things. Stumbled upon a grenade. It went off. He was killed. Now, what dear old granddad had a grenade for. I'm not quite sure, but people collect different things. Didn't turn out well. Now, this just may be talk. We don't know. We'll see what becomes of this as the Republicans claim that they've got something that is going to prove. McCarthy says he thinks the FBI Director Christopher Wray will hand over the documents that James Comer claims outlines the criminal robbery involving Biden and the Foreign National, that it would have a list that followed exactly and that he could be guilty. Again, innocent until proven guilty. We'll see what this form comes about. The only way that form would ever come to light, you know this as well as I do, if it were true, is if they were ready to swap who's running our country. We'll see what becomes of that also. That's one of those things we'll have to wait and see. Also, a word that could possibly be another probe back into Hillary as they dig into all of this information from the fake dossier of the Russia, as they prove more and more of the guilt and things that went on behind the scenes with the FBI that were done wrong. We'll be right back. We've got more to come. We'll do your forecast.
No matter how many times you try, and no matter where you call, Representative 81 Steve Horn won't answer the phone. We're not getting any representation in Jackson. District 81, we can do better. Vote Ben Shirley, August the 8th. Paid for by Ben Shirley.
The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're building, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group.
Hello, my name's Kenneth Graham, and I'm running for coroner of Lauderdale County. For over 50 years, Lauderdale County's been represented by professional and competent coroners. I would like to continue that tradition. Over the next several months, I want to educate the public on what the coroner does and dispel any myths about the coroner job. I can show you that I will be the most professional coroner there is. So please vote for me August the 8th.
Paid for by the Committee for the Election of Kenneth Graham. Good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. LaWanda, thank you for pointing that out. It was how they worded it on the that landmass between New Orleans and Alabama. Yeah, they were referring to Mississippi. Thank you. That was the Weather Channel that made that great comment some time back. Speaking of weather, let's look at radar this morning. What do we have to show? We do have a few showers in southwest Mississippi right now. West of Macomb as we get down here around Natchez, this area right at the state line. Not a lot going on. As you'll see, there's a little bit here near Highway 98, off to our east around Pennington, Alabama, Camden, Alabama, light showers. Nothing too serious there. Up in the north part of the state, we do have a flash flood watch in that area there. As we look at this, again, today, not so bad as we look across here all the way up. Some rain up into the Georgia area, getting ready to cross into the Carolinas. Nothing major there. Now, we will get into your forecast and tell you exactly what lies ahead for today. Let's do that.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Our record highs, record lows, it was 1956. A warm day hit us. It was 95 today back then. Back in 02, it was a cool 43 as you woke up. Wow, it's hard to believe that's been that long ago. As we move ahead and we look at what lies for us today, 86 Meridians. You'll see this rain in this area here west of Newton. We should be getting better near Lawrence there. No rain there back towards Jackson. We'll have a little bit heavier there in the eastern side of Kemper County and on up through Noxubee County up toward Columbus Air Force Base. We'll have more rain. And eastward toward Alabama, as we'll see that most of Alabama will have some heavy showers later today. Demopolis 84, 83, and Selma and those areas. That's what the look is. Now, as we look across here, this is what we've got. Kind of normal in our area. in the extreme northern part of the United States there, above average. And, well, over to the east, over in Georgia and the Carolinas, a little bit cooler this morning than it normally is. As we jump ahead to our 7-day forecast, this is what we've got lying right now. 85 is what we've got on tap, 85 to 86. 64 was the overnight low. 30% chance of showers today, and that's going to happen after 4 o'clock today. So we'll have partly sunny skies, and then around 4 p.m., 3:30, 4 o'clock, those chance of showers moves into it. Cooler tomorrow with a high of 78 as we jump to a 40% chance of rain. Now, Wednesday onward, look at this, is going to change. Now, we do get some small chances here, but overall, we've got sunshine in the forecast as temperatures will climb all the way back into the upper 80s, hitting 89 by Sunday. Hopefully, by Saturday, we'll be able to start mowing grass again without getting stuck. How many of you has that happened to on your mower? We'll see that we get the 90-degree mark on the 30th, and by June 1st, it's 90 degrees. Already another month coming up on us quickly, too. As we jump ahead and look at the fishing forecast for today, the perfect time to be out today is going to be, well, late this afternoon, 3:30 to 5:30. If you can get off work and be out there at your favorite fishing hole, it'll be great. Calm wind coming north around 5 this afternoon. So that's a quick look at that. Now, another thing that we wanted to point out as things start to change and we get near June, let's go here, and I posted this morning, and we'll start updating this as we look here at the report. What is this? It's a 10% chance as we look at the tropics. Nothing yet. That's out there. 10% chance. That's not big, but we want you to know about it as we'll start following this tropic update every day to keep you up to date with what goes on with all of that. Now, shootings, gunfire, golf cart wrecks. There's so much that we're going to talk about this morning, beginning at 7 o'clock. So about 12 minutes from now, we'll go live with the show. I hope you'll be there for that. And it's right around that, 13 till 13 minutes. So we've got a lot to talk about. We'll keep you up to date with the very latest of what's going on in our neighborhood. Don't forget, Run for the Wall rolls into town this afternoon, most likely around 4:30. It'll be set up around 4 o'clock. As they come into town, Meridian always does above and beyond for the guys that ride to Washington each year. They'll be arriving at the Lauderdale County Agri Center later this afternoon. I think Scott and Britt going to be singing. It's going to be a big deal. It's a national anthem, the whole 9 yards, as Meridian rolls out the red carpet for those headed to Washington. I hope you'll join them for that. More to come. We'll be right back as we begin this day together. Thank you all for coming by and spending a few moments with us. My daughter Madison will be filling in this morning. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few moments.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.